gosh, I'm a little backlit over here, but that's okay. So I'm live on Instagram. I'm also on the Facebook and YouTube. Don't hear, but it's a little blown out because I'm so backlit. This is better. Instagram, you're getting the best view. That's good. Hi guys. Oh, it's so good to see you. I am. I'm just feeling kind of like blah today, so I thought I would um, I'd follow up on some questions and some work that I'm trying to do. And one of the things is to ask you what it is you would like to learn from me. So if you had a chance to talk to me about personal development, life skills, and those sort of things, what would you ask me? If you wanted to hear about stunt stories and things like that, what would you ask me? You know, it's an interesting thing in life. Like we look at our friends and people that we know, and we have a certain opinion of them. We think they're this and that, and the person doesn't know that that's what we think. I have certain friends I always rely on for certain kind of advice, or who are just good at listening and giving me a shoulder to lean on when I need it. You know, and they have no idea. So I try to say that with my friends. How to be positive? That's an awesome one. That's an awesome one. It's not easy, is it? A little fun fact for you there that is you know, we are designed to be negative. That's what the amygdala does, and that's how we've survived as a species, as a creature over the millions of years that it's taken for us to develop. That little tiny amygdala is still in the brain, and the amygdala is all about making you safe. And it does that by making you think everything's a threat, everything's negative, everything's something to worry about. That's the amygdala. And so you've actually got that in your, you know, embedded in your brain. It's not your fault. But now that we know that, we can take and learn and have certain practices to help us stay more positive. And you actually can learn that. You actually can do that and change that and make your life the way you want it to be. Okay. I'd love to hear about your stunt work, especially how your perspective on stunt work changed with experience. Oh, that's interesting. Um, how it changed with experience. I think it's really interesting when you learn any skill, how you become more, uh, not more confident, but more, you just trust in your abilities, right? You start to become more comfortable, if that's a word, because it's certainly not comfortable ever doing a stunt job. But you just have enough um, repetition behind you. You've practiced, you've done things, you've succeeded, you've made mistakes, you've learned, and that just continually builds to give you um, more and more gravitas. You know, you show up and people just know that you know what you're about. Does that make sense? So I don't know that I ever got complacent enough to feel completely comfortable or relaxed. I was always amped up. But that being said, I knew I could do what I was supposed to do. You know, the thing about stunts is it is it's a dicey situation, so we never know for sure. You do the best you can, and you know that you are going to be safe because you've practiced and you've got people around you who know what they're doing. But shit goes wrong. That's why they call it a stunt, right? It's a gag. So it could be, like, it could go south. And then, you know, you're trained, and so are the people with you, the other stunt people, are trained to handle that. If something goes wrong, we know what to do. Does that make sense? But I'm going to think about that. How do you start off as a stunt person, actor? How did you? The world is different than when I started, but it probably hasn't changed in that it's all about who you know and how you meet people and putting yourself out there, networking, finding out how that works. In my day, it was actually, you know, going to sets and talking to people, but that's become a lot harder now. Actually, since 9/11, things changed a lot with security, and it was harder and harder to network, but that's still probably the case is that you need to meet people and they need to know, they need to start you off to see if you know what you're doing. So I would always say that you keep training and you keep working on your skills so that when you do finally get a chance to work with somebody, you are able to do it. You know, that you do a good job and you learn about the set, like how do you be a professional on the set. Now, I've seen so many people make basic social faux pas by being loud or talking too much because did I take any acting classes? I studied acting. Oh, my camera's fuzzy. Thanks for letting me know. Maybe it's best that way, Elaine. Maybe it's best that it's fuzzy. I studied acting for many years. Yes, I took a lot of classes. Huh. I'm going to have to check that, but it is what it is for now. Oh, well. Oh, is it this camera maybe? You know, well, it's a little better. I think it's also fuzzy over here because I'm lit so badly and it's blowing the camera out a little bit. But I think that helped. I think you're right. I couldn't see that. That's so funny. Thank you for letting me know. the, avoid the fear of dangerous situations. Well, that's the thing. You know, people doing stunts is not for everybody. You have to be able to take leaps and put yourself into gnarly situations. I mean, if you can't do that, then you shouldn't. Why do stunts? Honestly, stunt jobs are, I don't know why anyone would do it. It's crazy to do. And I was just lucky it was something I was good at, but I certainly don't recommend it. It's a tough job, you know. And people go, oh, that's so cool. And in the end, okay, that's nice. But, you know, you do a lot of damage to your body. It's like being a professional football player, only not making anywhere near that kind of money, you know, and you really fuck up your body. So I don't know that you ever do overcome the fear. The fear is always there. You just have a relationship with fear. I think that's one of my favorite topics because everyone talks about fighting fear and, you know, you got to win the battle with fear, et cetera, et cetera. But to me, fear is your friend. You don't want to just stop fear. Fear's there for a reason, and it's a big part of who we are. You know, we all have the ability to feel fear, and that's important. There's a reason for that. So you want to learn to work with your fear rather than fight your fear. Don't expend the energy in fighting fear. Figure out how to work with it, and that's what I teach people: is working with fear, understanding it, and then right sizing it, because it gets really big and blown out of proportion, doesn't it? You know, it's one thing. I call it clean fear and dirty fear. It's one thing if you're hanging off a bridge on a wire for a stunt job. That's clean fear. That's a good, you know, that you're afraid. Yeah, you should be afraid. That's fine. But if you're afraid because you're making a sales call, or you just want to ask somebody out on a date, or if you're going to a social situation, you have fear. That's dirty fear. That's fear that's not really helping you. You know, it's not keeping you safe. It's not keeping you alive. It's just causing you to hold back from your life. So I don't know if that's the answer you wanted. That yeah, I think that's why fear is a superpower. Oh, that's cool. Did Doctor Who really say that, Jason? Wow. Which doctor? Wow. I want that quote. Oh, there we go. I just realized. Oh, I don't know that I'm all that brave. I worry about, yeah. Well, congratulations. I think extra work's a great way to learn how to handle yourself on a set. and what that protocol is. There is it's Peter Capaldi. Awesome. I love Peter Capaldi. So I think, background work's fantastic. I'm good, Anne. How are you? You're welcome. My pleasure. Any other questions? Keep the questions coming. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's interesting. Do you think fear is a good topic? Like if I were to come into your workplace, or if you were going to go to a workshop or something, would you want to talk about fear and overcoming fear and like get right sizing it, knowing more about it? Right now, my guilty pleasure is probably eating. Anyone else? Yeah, I'm afraid I need to figure that out. Miss Pam, I'm struggling because I have to have my hip replaced. Speaking of stunt work, and I shouldn't be eating because I can't work it off the way I usually do. So. Elaine, oh, that's everyone's, right? Yeah, I know. It's very common. It's very easy. It's an easy one. Having a lot of Starbucks, I love that, but then I get all freaked out because I freak out my adrenals, and that's not a good idea. Ice cream is the best. Yes, Claire. Yes, Claire. But I'm serious about the question. If you were to go to a workshop, what would you want to hear from me? If you were to have me talking on a workshop stage, what would you want to hear from me? Is that an easy question, or is that a hard question? Or you're like, Pat, we don't want to hear from you. Stop it. I mean, that's fair. My hair has lost its mind. I don't know what to do with the hair. I know. I just got it cut too, so it's really short and it just sticks up. I don't know what to do. So I kind of gave up. Glenn's kind of looking at me like my husband. Like he keeps, I just catch him looking at the hair. Like maybe we should do something about your hair, and we can have at it. You can try. What's the best way to deal with everyday anxiety around people? And are the people causing you? Is that what you think? Like, does it feel like the people are making you anxious? Thanks, Dan. The reason I'm asking is because there's a lot of social anxiety these days, but really anxiety is something that I think is fascinating because so many of us have it. It's like, what's going on with the anxiety? So what's going on with what's anxiety really is that you've got your alarm switch, if you will, like we all have alarm switches, which is part of a healthy fear system. You want the fear to be able to let you know when there's something to be afraid of, right? You want to know this is a bad situation. I should be aware of this. Good. That's great. That's when fear is working. But when you're just like constantly low level anxiety and then it spikes into higher level anxiety, that means your fear switch is stuck. It's stuck on. And you're burning a lot of cortisol. Your brain is just constantly vigilant, right? And so you just have this you can't settle down. You can't feel good because your body is telling you, your brain is like, no, you're not safe. You're not safe. Yeah. So that just is learning some techniques to calm down, to get yourself regulated is the popular word. Regulating fight or flight. So the amygdala has four settings: fight, flight, freeze, right? And fawn. Fawn means it's like hyper people pleasing. Like you'll do anything or say anything to please that other person or to calm the situation down. So fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and you're stuck in that because the amygdala never shuts off. And that's, that's just a technique to learn. Anxiety is like a habit. It's a fear habit. You're stuck in a bad habit, and it's not your fault. Don't get me wrong, it's not your fault. So many people have high anxiety because of the world situation, and we don't even realize that's why. But we're completely unsafe in the world these days, right? Since the Trump, the politics, the pandemic, war. So outside in the world, we don't feel safe. We've learned not to necessarily trust other people because people made it hard to get through the pandemic by buying out all the toilet paper. I know this is a silly example, but it's the truth. It's like people hoarded from other people. Nobody was helping each other out. Now that's, I'm sure, not true for everyone, and you did have people who helped you out. That's great. Remember that and try not to focus on the other stuff. But it's all about now understanding you are not wrong for feeling the way you feel. But feelings aren't us. They are a circumstance. So feelings need to be understood and then regulated. Oops, there we go. Right? Oh, I think meditation's amazing. And meditation's amazing. And you don't need to, like, we think when to meditate, you need to sit down and have an hour of free time. 10 minutes, kids. 10 minutes can make a big difference. You could sit and breathe and just breathe for 10 breaths, and that's beneficial. I'm like Shaz, I'm just like what I've been talking about. I have been in a hyper state of anxiety for most of my life and didn't understand it. Some of us who grew up around alcoholic parents, perhaps, or had some sort of addiction in the family, or there's some sort of unpredictability in the family, you get your on switch is stuck on because you never felt safe as a kid. It's just but it's a habit, and then it gets to be a habit in the body. You know how when you crave a substance, let's say you love to drink alcohol at night, or it's the only way you don't learn how to calm down, or it's the only way that you can get to sleep is to drink so much and then you pass out. That's a habit, and your body's now got that habit in it. The same thing with anxiety. So it's just understanding that that's not your, first of all, I think it's important to know it's not your fault. And now it's just something to start to try to give yourself, instead of I also want to throw this out there, instead of trying to take away, think of adding. So instead of, oh, I've got to stop doing all these other things, how about you just add in 5 minutes of meditation? And then as you start to calm down, you're going to notice what gets you amped up again. And maybe then you'll stop doing that thing. For me, it's like it was getting stuck on social media. It was watching any kind of news, even good news. I had to just back out of it because it just spikes my anxiety immediately. And so it's not, I don't have the wherewithal yet to be able to not a problem reading the news, for example. It might be a bad example, but for me, it was a real one. You know? So first start to try to find ways and read about calming down. I have a lot of that kind of information that we can send you. It's on my website. So sign up for my stuff. Doom scrolling, exactly right, Pammy. Exactly right. It's addicting. And so it's a bad habit. It's something we do. But you're not bad. You're not a bad person. It's just that you start to, when you calm down and you do things like meditate, or you start to read personal development books, which is something I love to do. I'm a personal development junkie. That then you notice when you're doing something that doesn't make you feel good, and you don't want to do that so much anymore. It makes it easier to change your habit. So think of adding in. And then you might realize, oh, I'm enough. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. I don't know what your real name is. TMORK, but congratulations. Who is that has taken as a prototype of WOW character? I don't know, sweetie. I don't know what that is. World of Warcraft? Is that WOW? And I don't know because I'm not a gamer. Sorry. I tried. I'm not a game person. Am I a feminist? I think I'm being sort of poked at by somebody else here. Is that a bad thing to be a feminist? You don't. Uh, oh, thanks, Bruce. Right, and Claire, I think that absolutely there's a stressor in situations, and I'm being very general. And I think that we have habits and how our bodies handle it. And what is that? That's weird. Seeing some very interesting things on my camera. So there's, like my habit of how I would handle an underlying situation or a stressor would lead me to want to go do this one thing as opposed to doing another thing. And I'm trying to get myself to, instead of doing the old way, do a new thing. That's more healthy for me. I don't know if that helps. Yeah, the calming routine. Exactly right, Claire. My neighbors are really, really noisy. Yeah. I'm in my 60s, Teresa, so I understand. It happens that it takes time. It takes the time it takes to learn what you need to learn. Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad, Teresa. It sounds like you're getting better and better at taking care of yourself. Yes, we do need to support each other. I know there's this person on here though that doesn't look terribly supportive. You're supportive, and I'm enjoying your conversation. But this person on my other one, I don't know. They have a very angry thing going on there. Oh, that's so nice. Yes, I think that's all very important. Hello, someone from Brazil. So I'm getting a little bit of an idea of things you'd like to talk about, and maybe would like to have me talk about. Um, yeah, I'm pushing my own business into another level. So that's why I keep asking you guys questions, because I want to know what you think and what you need and what you're interested in, right? It's one thing for me to talk about what I love to talk about, but I want to know what you want to talk about, what you want to talk about. You're the important thing here. So what else did I wanted to ask? You'll see on my you'll see on my socials talking about Penny Lane. Talking about Penny Lane and the Be a Santa program. And so I really appreciate if you share those posts around Penny Lane. We're in the Christmas season. Tomorrow's December 1st. I cannot even believe it. And it's a program for foster kids and the families that support the foster kids, and trying to, help the foster children get through the holidays with a more positive connection to happiness. And we've been doing this for almost 30 years. So it's all been crowdsourced through you guys, through the folks who've joined me before we even had social media. This was in the mid 90s. We started this, and it was, I did it through conventions mostly. I just talked about it, and I had a little tiny email list back in those days. And it was just people being cool like yourselves and helping out. So if you can help out with a donation, that's wonderful. If you can't, would you share my posts on the Be a Santa program? Because that's helping. I really appreciate it. Sharing, liking, and commenting, and letting people know about it is very important. So I really, really appreciate it. Why do I call you angry? Because you're hostile. Hostile is the name of your handle, and you have an angry face for your emoji. So, right, that's what I'm saying. You're angry. Oh, so funny. Oh, how sweet, Pam. That's so sweet. Yeah, I mean, everybody helps the way they can, which is totally cool. But if you'd like to to join us for a holiday program for the kids. It should be all over in my link in bio in the Instagram, and I post on my page and my Facebook and my Facebook banner. And there's Heather, who's one of my help elves, is posting our thank yous, and it should be in a link in there too. You just can go to beasanta.org, O-R-G. Oops, my alarms are going off. I have a call. Oh, I've got a little bit of time, 10 minutes. So, yeah. I can also tell you that I have, there's a level in my membership community called the Talisman Apprentice. And that's kind of a great way to get to know us, us meaning the Magical Living group. And we can, we get a chance to kind of show you what we're about. So you'll see posts about the Talisman Apprentice, and you can join for $7 a month. It's like buying me a cup of coffee these days, which is great. And I really appreciate the support. But you can cancel anytime too, of course, but I'd love to have you as a member. And then you get to be in our community, and we have watch parties, and we have a gaming guild, and we have a book club, and yeah, we have fun. And then you can see if you want to do more with the group or not. It's completely up to you. I have a group called Your Magical Living, and we're meeting on Saturday. We meet the first Saturday and the second Saturday of every month, and then we have a bunch of monthly stuff going on as well. So I don't know if you see that or you know that about us. Some people don't appreciate it. Aw, no, it's all right. It happens. It's the socials. You got to have kind of thick skin, Pam, what do I geek out about? I love this personal development stuff. I get to be a real nerd around that stuff. I love things like Lord of the Rings and the Harry Potter. I love sci-fi in general. I've been obsessed about Strange New Worlds. I love that. I loved it so much. It reminds me a lot of the original Star Trek series back in the 60s. I loved that. I love that stuff. I read a lot. Oh, thanks, Claire. And my favorite horror movie is probably not what modern people think horror is anymore. I love The Haunting of Hill House, and that's fun. And then just The Haunting, starring Julie Harris, the black and white film, The Haunting. Have you seen that? Oh my God. My last name sounds Jewish. See? You're weird. I don't know. I'm going to. They're gone. That was the last one right there. Oh, yeah, The Haunting, Elaine? Yeah. Oh, well, tell Joe I said hi, and that's very sweet. I appreciate it. I'm not a gore person. Oof. Not at all. So I like being scared. I like ghost stories a lot. Oh yeah, they're great. They're awesome. Yeah. Mystery Science Theater 3000. Thanks, Claire. And The Haunting of Hill House. Those are two different movies. The Haunting of Hill House is also great. Did you see the series on Netflix, The Haunting of Hill House? Oh, so good. That was really good. I like being scared, but I also like, yes, 1963. I'm not planning on, I was supposed to be in New Zealand, and I've got to have this hip replaced. So we're kind of in the American healthcare bullshit. Trying to get my hip replaced. And once that's done, then I can start doing things again. A 26-year-old to visit. So Paris is not my stomping ground, but I love the flea markets and outdoor markets. So is she in Paris right now? Because definitely the Christmas markets. They should be starting up by the mid-month if they haven't already. So good. Those are really fun. Really, really fun. So I'm all about the outdoor markets. I hope that's fun. Oh, good. Oh, I'm so glad you like Night of the Living Dead. That's very cool. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hmm. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, it was good, huh, Elaine? Oh my God. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, so that's what I geek out about. What else do I geek out about? I love scuba diving. I love being in the water. I love Hawaii. I miss it terribly. My husband and I were on a liveaboard scuba boat on the Red Sea when we were in Egypt in April, and it was epic. It was cool. That's another thing I'm looking forward to doing once my hip is fixed. Put my hip back together again. It should be fine. No, I don't free dive. I need the oxygen. Yeah, but I have friends that do. Yeah, cool. Yeah. What? Elaine? What is he doing in Hawaii for 3 weeks? Who's he staying with? Is he looking at property? Fuck. Then the new series of Hill House, yes. But we were trying to watch the new series of The House of Usher. Have you guys watched that? The House of Usher. I'm having a hard time with that one. It's kind of just gross. It's not as interesting. I know there's a lot of little tidbits, but maybe it'll get better. Oh wow. And Kulilani. Well, he's lucky. Is he going to be back for Christmas? I know. Aw. Well, thank you. Thanks, Anne. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. I bored you long enough. Thanks for being here. Check out Be a Santa. Check out Talisman's Apprentice level if you haven't joined us in the Magical Living. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, if you're a Babylon 5 fan, we have a holiday bundle. There is a link in the bio in Instagram. So I've gathered together my 9 of my friends, and we're all in this bundle. So check that out. You save $125 on the bundle. That might be good. Oh yeah. Oh, I bet. I can't believe it, Elaine. All right. Well, I'll get the scoop from you later. Thank you, Teresa. You guys be well. Have a great rest of your day. I'll try to be live next week more, but I'm at a conference tomorrow, so I won't be able to. But thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. You guys be great. Be good. All right. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, here we go into December.